All right, it is 6:30 p.m. in Hong Kong. Welcome everyone to September's episode of Ask Me About Anything Astropreneurship. My name is Perry Lamb and I'm your host this evening and moderator for today's session. We're very fortunate today because we'll be focusing in on space tourism. So if I could, Cynthia, we're live streaming today. If you could just bring up the slides, please, and we shall begin with the recent developments in space tourism. What a great topic to have for this month. Ask Me About Anything Astropreneurship. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all the famous pioneers who've now gone to space. Now here in Hong Kong, our turn here at OASA. Some of you who are joining us for the first time today may ask, who are we? What is OASA? OASA is the Ryan Astropreneurship Space Academy, and we're just going on to our second year as a startup, but we're really focusing in on accelerating and also being a development of young global leaders in terms of the future of today's space economy. So with that, let's move on in terms of who we are at OASA and go into our next slide, please. Entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs in a new space economy. The opportunity today is to join all of our participants, our guest speakers, and those who are participating in terms of our audience to look at the opportunities within the new space economy. And as I said earlier, we're going to be very much focused on space tourism. So with that, let me begin with looking at introducing our first guest. Our next slide, please. Thomas Wong is a true friend of OASA, being one of the co-founders in the very beginning when we started, but also he's the co-founder of Fling. And he is here today to share with us his insights in terms of the space economy as it relates to space tourism and such. As you can see, Thomas has a wealth of experience and background in terms of developing fun things with his Bling platform and supporting us in terms of OASA. So with that, what I'd like to do is welcome Thomas to the stage. Join me, everyone, in welcoming Thomas to the stage. Thomas, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Perry. Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas. So I would like to start my part by giving some backgrounds of space tourism and my viewpoint of it in the coming 3 to 5 years. So I think when you talk about like space tourism, it is like a sci-fi movie thing. But I think in the coming 5 years, it's going to be a real reality that every one of us can become one of the travelers that go to space. So when we talk about like space travel, I think the 3 big names everyone needs to know is the Blue Origin, SpaceX, and Virgin Galactic. So these 3 is the common commercial airline that we can take. I can call it Astro Airline if we're going to do space travel. So for the Blue Origin and the Virgin Galactic, the founder, Richard Branson, and also Jeff Bezos, they did like a test flight last year in 2021 in July. So they carry themselves with another citizens, civilians, which means like they are not astronauts. So they go to space without any trainings. So by taking Blue Origin and also Virgin Galactic to the space. So winding up a lot of opportunity for us to get into the space in a very low price and an easier way to get into the space without any professional training. So I think before we start, I would like to play a video to get a sense for everybody what actually space travel is. It's like a 3-minute video, and it's the journey that take it into the space. So I would like to experience it, and then I would like to have the environment to play the video first. And to see. If you haven't experienced any space travel, I think this might be the first time in the video format. Okay, let's hit the video.
Fire. Fire.
To all you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship with lots of other wonderful adults looking down to our beautiful, beautiful Earth. To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do. Yay!
Come on out, mister.
Please return to your seats and strap in. Trojan re-entry.
So exactly the whole thing, how we do space travel in 2021. So it is done by Virgin Galactics, costs you $200K for 10 minutes of space travel. If you get some money, you can spend, you can wait for it in the queue to do that. And we call it suborbital flight, which is like we're shooting to the about the 100 kilometers above the Earth. And then we experience some weightiness, so microgravity. So that is the space travel we are doing here today. And we also have like Elon Musk, so the SpaceX we're shooting up to the a higher level, which is to the International Space Station, but this is another ball game. And I would like to talk about more things about like commercial things. How much it costs? So before this AMA, I do some research. It costs you $35,000 to spending one night at the International Space Station per astronaut. So that is like the number, the cost that you want to spend. You want to go to International Space Station. And to break down the cost, it's like something like this. So for the food, it costs like $22,000, and for the internet, it costs you $50 US per gigabyte. So if you want to consider to the space, you may have to save some money before, or you turn down your Wi-Fi or your internet. And if you search for the space hotel, a company called SCM Space, it's planned to launch a space hotel in 2024. So 2024 is launching for this space hotel. So it's possible that maybe someone will get into the space hotel and do some activities there. So maybe later on, the Lisa part will figure out what actually we can do in space, or what people want to do in space when they're in the tour. And in a perspective of service design, we also can consider what's happening for the whole process. For example, when we go to a travel, so it is a traditional travel journey. So how we go into travel, when we search some inspiration online or some platform, or we will do some research of what the tour or what experience that we want to do. So maybe it will be something different when we go to the space travel. So it may come up with some question to you, how we look up on our next space travel journey and how we shop there. So we can book a ticket through travel agency nowadays. When we go space travel, we need a different experience or agent to get into that. And how we get in the vehicle, not by plane, of course, we are by a rocket or by Virgin Galactic. So we need to book that, and we need to take our luggage onto that. And the more important is the in-house experience in a space hotel. What we can do, what we want to consume our time, what we want to do in a short limit of time in a high cost. So we have to redefine the whole experience of travel, as well as like souvenirs. Okay, anything that you want to buy from a space hotel and bring it to the Earth. So you may consider something like this when you go space travel. So it may open up a different industry for that. So when talk about industry, I think the traditional industry also changed as well because of the space travel industry. So when we have those vehicle, then we may not need plane, because when we need to fly from Hong Kong to London, you need not need 12 or 13 hours, maybe 1 or 2. If we take the high-speed atmospheric flight, we call it a suborbital flight, to fly from one place to another place. So with this in mind, our traditional travel experience or industry may have some changes because of space travel. So I think this also opened up a lot of ideas and also questions for us to think and to ask what we are going to do in space and how it redefined the service industry as well as the travel industry when it comes to space travel. So this is my part and also my background of it. So I would like to quickly pass the time to Lisa to get into more in-depth and details about research also and how her point of view about the space travel industry.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks very much, Thomas. Very insightful in sharing. So it's our pleasure today to welcome Professor Lisa Wan. Lisa also is a dear friend to OASA. Early days starting out over at Chinese U there in Hong Kong with a number of different workshops and sessions kicking off OASA as such. As you can see here, Lisa is the co-director for the Center of Hospitality and Real Estate Research. And also for today, Lisa's bringing and sharing with us some special insights in terms of some of the work that she's doing in space research as such. So with that, let me now invite Professor Lisa Wan to the stage. Lisa, the stage is yours.
Hi, thank you. So I have a videos to introduce some of my recent works. Okay, maybe I let Sylvia help me to play the video.
Space tourism hits an important milestone in 2021 summer when Virgin Galactic, Blue Origin and SpaceX all sent their first batch of tourists to space. It marked the beginning of commercialized spaceflight and the dawn of space tourism that will contribute to over $1 trillion by 2040 for the global space industry. To create updated knowledge to students about this important topic, and to align with the university's theme of innovation and design, Professor Wan used the Teaching Development and Language Enhancement Grant to create a game-based, space tourism virtual reality learning tool.
Overall, participants are highly satisfied. They also reported a high intention to try space travel after paying the VR too. Interestingly, many of them look forward to daily activities like eating hot pots, playing games, swimming, and watching movies at the space hotel.
It's actually quite fascinating, especially we don't often or always get a chance to explore space or Mars.
我很想去体验一下太空的酒店， 因为我在想它里面会不会是机器人为我服务呢？
Combining educational and entertainment content with the novelty of virtual environments, this VR learning tool can motivate students to learn actively. It also enables teachers and students to become co-learners in exploring knowledge of consumer reactions to space tourism.
Thank you. Before I start my sharing, I have some questions that I want to ask the audience and see whether you have any opinions. Okay. So now, okay. So the first question is yeah, I think the first question. This is the second one. Yeah. So I want to know: are you interested in space tourism? Anyone? Can you just simply click the link and then tell us whether you're interested in space tourism?
All right. And we do have the link also in the chat line for everyone. So please click on, put in the code,
Wow.
and cast your
Yeah.
vote.
Interesting. Wow. Now it's more than 90%. Okay, more than 90% are interested in space tourism. Not sure? Okay, some of you not sure. Okay, never heard of it. Okay, very good. So I'm not sure. Okay, after today, maybe you might change your mind. Okay, then if those who are, because today, actually after Thomas sharing, I'm sure that you know what is space tourism. Okay, have some initial thinking. So the next question is, if you have a chance, okay, to go to space travel, yeah, what do you want to do in a space hotel? You can just simply type your answer. What you want to do if you have a chance to go to space and stay in the space hotel. What do you think? What come up in your mind that some of you say spa, okay, meditate, okay, what else? Yeah, dining, yeah, enjoying take pictures with the moon, space swimming. This word is really interesting, right? Enjoy drinks at space sky bar. Yeah. Just relax, right? Okay, yes, very good. So thank you for all of your answers. So now looking at the Earth, yes, very good. So these are the amazing activities that we would like to do in a space hotel. So why I asked you these kinds of questions, because let me share some of my research finding. Okay, give me 1 second.
Excellent, Lisa. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I want to share the PowerPoint. So I'm sure that all of you can, see my PowerPoint, right? So now, actually today, I just want to share these big questions with all of you. That means just like our consumers really interested in space tourism and what they think about space tourism and what they want to do in space hotel. So why I want to share this question, because we all know that starting from last year, space travel no longer is a kind of a fantasy or fiction, because now it really becomes a reality for all of us. We have chance, but we also know that it's super expensive, that not all of us really have the real chance to enjoy it, right? So that's why I just want to share that because of the technology advancement, many consultants companies predicted that space tourism markets will growing in the future, and they predicted that North America and China are the two biggest market in the world. That means they find that these two would be the biggest potential market for space tourism to happen. So that's why last year, I want to do a survey, to ask some of the participants in both China and the US to see whether they are really interested in the space travel and what they think about space tourism. And actually, I conducted the research, before Elon Musk, Richard Branson went to the space, so that's why at that time, people may think that space tourism is really an innovative concept. So just like what I suppose want to ask you about if you think about space tourism, are you interested, or what kinds of things come up in your mind? Very interesting. You can see that I show you the top one thoughts. Okay, in Americans' mind is they think of space. Okay, when you ask them or what is anything come up in your mind when you think about space tourism, they just say, oh, space. Okay. However, Chinese people, they mention that alien. Okay, in their mind, the top thing in their mind is alien. Very interesting. So let me show you more. The top 5 thoughts for those Chinese participants, they think about space tourism or space travel, alien witness experience, moon, spaceship, and astronaut. For American, they think about, okay, it's related to space. Then they think about expansive, dangerous, exciting, scary. So now, these kinds of thought listing also reflect something like very interesting. There's a cultural difference here. That means, in general, American more easily think about the space weeks. Okay, when they think about traveling, in space. On the other hand, Chinese people seems think a lot of think about something like fantasy things. Okay, associated with the space travel. So that's why, okay, when I asked them whether they're interested in space travel, okay, in general, Chinese people also report a high intention, okay, a high interest in space travel, as well as a high intentions to visit the space, as well as to try to stay in a space hotel if they have a chance to do so. Okay, very interesting. So in this case, okay, I also explore another questions, talking about what kinds of activities they really want to do in a space hotel. Why I asked them this question, because it also reflects the future business opportunity if we explore the space tourism, right? So just like what I asked you before, okay, very interesting. Actually, this time the top 5 things, okay, that come up in their minds, okay, I can let you see that it's Chinese people. They said sleep, okay, eat, play games, swimming, and watch movie. And for American, they reported quite different. Okay, they said, oh, the first thing that come up in their mind is space sightseeing, just like what some of you mentioned, that they want to watch the moon, watch the Earth view, something like that. And then they want to experience the zero gravity and float experience. Yes, eating also very important to them. They also mentioned sleep, of course, because of talk about hotel, right? And then they also mentioned they want to try the spacewalk. So here, very interesting. You can see that seems that Chinese tourists, okay, want to stay in the space hotel. But for those American tourists, if they have a chance, they want to go out, okay, to experience the sightseeing and spacewalk. And in this case, I also asked them, okay, what kind of service that you want the space hotel to provide to you? So highly relevant to the previous question is Chinese, okay, the first thing come up in their mind is they want a swimming pool, and then fitness room, and then spa, just like what some of you mentioned before, food service and cinema. And for American, they report, okay, food service, room service, space tours, spa, and swimming pool. So this is very interesting because both of them also mentioned a swimming pool. So imagine that why you want a swimming pool in a space hotel? I don't know, but they both Chinese participants and American participants, they reported that, okay, even in the space, they are not talking about swimming in the space. They are talking about a real swimming pool with water, okay, inside the space hotel. Very interesting, okay? And especially for the Chinese participant, this is the number 1 service they want, okay? And for American, top 5, okay, still top 5. And because both of them also mentions that eating is very important, food service, okay, something like that. So that's why I asked them another question, talking about what kinds of food they really want to enjoy, okay, in the space hotel. Very interesting. Because in the past, okay, all of us think that when we think about, okay, when we go to space, definitely these, okay, will be our food, okay, quite boring, right? It's kinds of dehydrated food, okay, because of the situation of the space, okay, we need to do something like this, okay. But the happy thing is that actually, because of the technology advancement, actually, even astronauts, they can enjoy this kinds of food in the space, not just those hygienists, okay, you can enjoy biscuits, cakes, whatever. So how about, Chinese and American? Okay, any cultural difference here? Very interesting, because actually I pasted a video before, right? Maybe some of you, okay, already, get the answer. What are the top 6, okay, or 5, okay, thoughts in their mind when they think about space food? Let me share about the American first. Okay, pizza, steak, ice cream, burgers, pasta, and chicken. So not surprising, right? Okay, these are the favorite food that American want. Interesting thing is they list ice cream as number 3. Okay, very important. Okay, for them, dessert. Okay, and for Chinese, very surprises, top up is number 1, because in the past when I ask people, ask participants whether they can guess about the number 1 space food that Chinese people want, they guess maybe rice, they guess maybe noodles, but wow, interesting, it's hot pot, and then barbecue, and then steak, fruit, burgers, rice. Okay, rice is number 6. Okay, when you think about space food, so these are very interesting because space food also reflect another business opportunity if we want to, in the future, if we explore the space. And other things that just let you know that is even the Chinese astronauts recently, because we just enjoyed the Mid-Autumn Festival, okay, in September, and then there's a good news is that even the astronaut now they can enjoy the mooncake in the space, okay, in the space station. And celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival. And another interesting news is that recently the Chinese astronauts successfully grew rice, okay, at the Tiangong space station. So this is also another facet reflecting the technology advancement really, growing so fast. So that's why I think space travel, maybe it might just take within 15 or 20 years would become a mainstream activity for us, I hope, okay, because of the technology advancement. And of course, okay, just after Thomas sharing, we all know that it is crazy expensive now. If you want to go to space travel, it seems impossible. Just like this is one of the news I want to share that the first Japanese tourists, space tourists, okay, he spends around 7 billion Hong Kong dollars, okay, to enjoy this kinds of space travel. If I don't have money, but still there's a chance for you to do so, because there's another interesting news I want to share is that one of the people, okay, American, okay, people, because he got the chance, okay, he got the chance of the space tickets, okay. However, at the end, because of the overweight issue, he just gave the ticket to his friends. So that's why this is also another interesting news that I want to share, that if you're lucky enough, even no money, maybe you can, through the lucky draw, you have a chance, okay, to go to the space. And yeah, this is, but the point is, you should, one of the limitation is physically speaking, we should not be overweight. There's some limitation here. So another interesting thing is I just saw this from the IG post. Okay, talk about one of the astronauts, Samantha, okay, be a new commander of the ISS. But I want to show you this picture because I observe another business opportunities here. Can you guess what I'm thinking? I'm thinking about the potential of the future markets of something like makeup or hair gel, okay, especially for the females, because you can see that when we travel in space, our hairstyle, very difficult for us to, especially for the females, okay, have to, control. Maybe there's some potential markets, okay, talking about we can investigate something like special hair gel, okay, for the tourists to use, okay, in the space hotel. So just some sharing, okay, I really think that space, okay, is our future. It's not scientific fiction anymore, okay. So I also think that, okay, space tourism might become a mainstream in the next 20 years, okay. So it also creates lots of job opportunities. So that's why today I just share some of my initial research findings, talking about something like how consumers perceive the space travel. And there's also some, cultural difference there, and also reflect the great opportunities, for us to explore this kinds of market. And we need to, for example, because we know about the cultural difference, we need to think about different strategies, when we target the tourists in different markets. Just like because we know that Chinese participants, they are more likely to think about fantasy things about space. So that's why when we think about the advertisement, we can focus more on how to stress the fantasy, the great experience during the travel. But when we target the Western market, maybe because they think about more of the risk element. So maybe in the advertisement, we can stress about the safety issues, talk about the technology, emphasize the technology advancement, and emphasize the safety of the space travel. So that when we target this kinds of markets, yes. So I'll stop here. So see whether you have any questions that want to ask me or want to ask Thomas. Okay, and I stop here.
Great. Thank you very much, Lisa. That was very, very fascinating. And I think there's a lot of keen interest in terms of looking at future opportunities in terms of space tourism for us here in Hong Kong as such. So what we'd like to do is two things. First, we do have our question poser, and I'd like to invite Anson Mack up to the stage. Anson is obviously a HKUST Robotics Institute student, and also he's part of OASIS in terms of our Young Marco Polo's program, which he's been actively involved in, and looking at CubeSat for our STEM program as such. In addition to that, Anson has been thinking about a question or two that comes to mind in terms of space tourism. So Anson, can I invite you to stage and ask both Lisa and Thomas some of your thoughts today?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Anson. Thank you, Thomas and Professor Lisa, for sharing and give us some details about space tourism. Talking about this space hotel, the question I would like to ask is, can the people who study or work in the hospitality industry, could they contribute to the space tourism industry? Because normally in a hotel, it will need many people to operate. For example, many cleaners to tidy up the bedroom, and then chef and waiters to provide the food service. So do you think this kind of people can also contribute for a space tour in a space hotel, or just only specialized trained astronauts are required to join the space tour to provide the service?
Yes, I think Anson asked a brilliant question. So I guess I think because of the technology advancement, I guess even for those who work in doing something like operation work at space hotel, they need some training, but not necessarily need to be have a very strict training like the astronauts. Because in the future, I guess within the space hotel, they can have the technology to have something like microgravity, not totally zero gravity. So that's why. But of course, at this moment, this is just what I predict. Given the technology advancement, if they have the technology to set the gravity, there's some gravity inside the hotel. Definitely, I think normal people can also help this kinds of operational jobs. Because even for the tourists, just like us, if we want a swimming pool at the space hotel, if this is possible, then everything just like operated at Earth on Earth, right? Just the same. But of course, we hope that one day we can do this. It's all based on the technology advancement. Yeah. But you asked a very good question. And actually, I think I think that another opportunity is just like, I really like the thing that you study. You're studying about robot. Actually, I think we need to rely on robot. We need to have something like work closely with the robot in the space hotel, not just human. We need to work together. Yeah. Because of the space environment, I think at that time we really need a lot of help from working with the robot. To serve the customer. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you are, Anson. perfect for your focus on robotics, right?
Yeah, I think robotics for providing service in a space hotel is a really good possibility for it, because like currently there are many robotics research sending robot to the International Space Station doing different experiments. So I think using robot is a good idea.
Yeah, so that's why I also agree that there's a lot of opportunities to apply the robotic technologies, to work in the space. And another interesting news I heard before is talking about some astronauts. Even they felt very lonely before. They took one of the something like a social companion robot. Very small. Just like a friend. To serve as a company purpose for them to work in the space. Very lonely, right? In the past for the astronauts. If they need to stay in the space station, for a certain period of time, not easy for them. Yeah.
Bring along a companion, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have a question here from Artem that says, can people join space tourism as vacation, like a cruise ship? Is a space casino possible?
Wow. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think this is also very interesting because when I do the survey, not many people, not many consumer tourists, or I would say potential tourists, mention about space casino. I think this is also a very interesting opportunities in the future, definitely. Yeah, I think so. I think one day, if we have space hotel, we must have space casino.
And that's coming to some space law as well. So the legal part of it, we have to also consider.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. In fact, we had learned early on that actually here in Hong Kong, there is a travel agency that has been certified to be able to book space travel as such. And that's something that's very special because, that's not easy to get accredited. But here in Hong Kong as such, Miramar Travel does provide that particular service. So the reality is that it is possible here in Hong Kong to book your flight. It may take a while in terms of the queue, but we'll be behind Thomas, right, Thomas?
Yeah, I've talked to the GM, the Marriott Travel, because of COVID, so it paused a bit. So I talked to him and he told me that actually a few bunch of people in Hong Kong actually have booked the trip, but not yet fly to Houston to take off the Virgin Galactics. So I think like with now CO+3, and then we open the travel, and then maybe space travel will be coming up in the trend incoming.
Yeah, that's a wonderful opportunity we have in front of us here. So I see in the chat, we have another question here from Tinny. What can tourists do in space instead of enjoying the view of Earth and space? In other words, what are some other activities tourists can do? What are our thoughts?
Yeah. I think so. I think in the future, there's a lot of activities that we can do. Just like playing sport, definitely. Just like what I mentioned before, if one day the technology advancement make everything possible, just like what we can stay, just like we stay in a space hotel, inside a space hotel at least, just like staying on Earth. Then I talk about the gravity issues. Microgravity environment. Then playing sport also will be definitely be possible and would be very fun, right? Just like you can play this kind of ball games in a microgravity situation. Very interesting, right? Yeah,
that's right. There'll be new games and new rules because we'll be waiting, right?
Yeah, exciting. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, Emma has a question for us. What age of people who wish to trace space most, or travel rather? So,
yeah. This is a very interesting question. Actually, based on my data, I also see there's a correlation between age and the space travel tendency. Definitely, young people, they show that they have a higher tendency to try the space travel. Yeah. If you ask me why, I guess maybe because young people, they think that they have a higher chance, based on the technology advancement. Yeah, but some of the but this is just a trend. Okay, based on my because I collect more than 2,000 survey last year. Yeah, this is the fact that there's a correlation between age and intention to engage in space travel, and young people, they in general have a high intention to do so.
Well, I think like after the test flight of Richard Benson last year, and it may change the board games because like by the technology advancement now, actually you do not need to train to go to space. You don't need to take a rocket. They just take a plane. And it's like 70 years old Richard Benson can actually fly to space without any training. So I think it may open up a more thought for the elderly people to maybe get into space to really try this in their lifetime. And I think maybe within 10 years, a lot of people actually can realize these dreams that maybe in their childhood, they one day want to go to space, and now it is possible, like mentally or physically as well.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I remember that last year when I watched some news, okay, one of the space tours actually aged around 82. Yeah, 82. That means actually even for elderly, no problem. There is no problem for them to go to the space, provided that they are not overweight, right? Because another news is overweight.
That is the nation. It's not about age. It's about your weight.
Yeah. Weight is the limitation, not age. Okay.
Okay. And I see here a good question from Ronald. How fast is the space hotel developing, actually? Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I want to have a space wedding. Yeah, well, you have a very good thinking. Oh, this is so romantic.
Yeah.
Because
invitations, Tom.
Yeah, because Thomas mentioned is 2024.
24. They're planning to launch an ACM Space Hotel.
Yeah, but based on my another information is 2017. So it really depends on the situation, the technology. Yeah.
Okay, so like every good session, we've got so many great comments, contributions, insights, and such. I'm just looking at the clock now, and as we're being broadcast live, can I suggest the following? Let's just do a quick wrap here in terms of some of the announcements for today, and then stay on for those who've got other questions, and we'll continue on with the after chat party. All right. So if I could we bring on just our closing slides for finishing up today's session, and then we'll continue on afterwards. Okay, let's look at our next session. Our next session will be October 27th, and we're looking at the topic of the space internet. And so with that as such, we look forward to sharing with everyone and welcome everyone back. But to close out this round, let's please thank Professor Lisa Wan, Thomas, and also finish up with our question poser, Anson Mack. So thank you everyone for your contributions today. And as we're closing out today's session, those who've got more questions, we will continue on and entertain those. Now remember, our monthly Ask Me About Anything About Entrepreneurship. Please join OASA and have a little bar scan here and the QR code and register as friends of OASA and get updated on a lot of our events that we're having every month as such. So with that, we want to thank everyone today for joining us, and please stay on if you can, and we'll continue on with our questions. So that'll be our close of September session. Ask Me About Anything About Entrepreneurship, Space Tourism. Thank you, Professor Wan, Thomas Wong, and also Anson Mack. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you.